Hey, Global Ghanaian citizens, Adrian here from the Sound of Accra Podcast. Today, I want to explore an important statistic I came across recently. Ghana ranks number 13 globally for athletic talent, but raw talent obviously doesn't pay bills alone. I also want to explore the fact that Ghanaian legend Asamoah Gyan also went on an interview with former Manchester United legends Ferdinand. And when he went on that interview, he actually dropped the real playbook for athletes. So we are going to talk about this as well. So please stick around as it's going to be a great episode. All right. But if this is your first time listening to the Sound of Accra Podcast, this is the show where we showcase global Ghanaian excellence to the world. We focus on showcasing entrepreneurs, founders, and executives. So let's go straight into this episode. All right. So I'm going to pull out some statistics from World of Statistics on X, who have 5 million followers. Now, this post that you can see right in front of me puts Ghana at number 13 behind Brazil, but ahead of many European nations in regards to the ranking of most athletically talented countries. Now, raw talent must become systematic excellence to scale globally, but Ghana recently qualified for this summer's World Cup taking place in the United States in 2026. So we're all going to be behind Ghana. We're all going to be rooting for them, cheering with the nation as well. Speaking of which, Puma actually dropped their stunning World Cup 2026 kits in Brooklyn with the likes of Asamoah Gyan, music artist Black Sheriff, and even football freestyle artist Freda was there as well. And they were all present for the launch of the nation's home kit. So we also have to recognize that it's another World Cup year and Ghana's in the World Cup once again. So let's go Ghana. Now, speaking of Asamoah Gyan once again, he recently appeared on Ferdinand's YouTube channel, right? I'll leave a link in the description below for this episode. I don't want to play it for too long in case I get copyright strike. But essentially, this interview is gold for athletes, for entrepreneurs. And what I want to do is I want to take the key takeaways from this episode. And the first one is this, all right? Master your weaknesses. Now, Europe beats Africa in consistency. And this is what Asamoah Gyan stated. He stated, draw your flaws daily. Talent loses to discipline's craft. So that's a big lesson from this episode. The second one I want to give you guys is handle success pressure. Someone like Asamoah Gyan, he's got a lot of pressure being famous and being popular and being from Africa. And this can be expensive. Now, Asamoah Gyan reminds listeners that the more money you have, the more problems you have as well. A bit like that Biggie song. Right now, more family members and members of the public will demand more handouts, and that's just natural when you go across Africa, including Ghana. Now, Gyan said in his interview that he gives generously, but he always sets boundaries. Now, the lesson here is that mental prep for wealth will change everything. Once you have money, once you have a lot more wealth, you have to learn how to manage your wealth once you reach a new economic banding or status, and you have to be prepared to give more, especially if you're from Africa, and especially if you're going to Africa as well. Number 3, become a comeback king. All right. Now, the 2010 World Cup heartbreak versus Uruguay, Asamoah Gyan took the first penalty in the shootout. I actually spoke about this briefly with the founder and CEO of Ghana 365, Kobe, back in season 2, this a few years ago. And we spoke about this. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below for this clip so you can listen to the whole clip. Now, Asamoah Gyan took the first penalty in the shootout. He faced failure immediately. But the trick here is to not let failure define you. This is what he said when speaking to Rio. Now, we dived a bit more into this, so I'll leave a link below once again. All right? So, number 4, national duty mindset. Now, club football equals a job. Black Stars equals sacred duty. This is how Asamoah Gyan saw his football. And Asamoah Gyan now lives in Ghana post-retirement and has experienced club football, African Cup of Nations, and the World Cup. He's experienced the heights of heights, but he still feels the African Cup of Nations is the most important tournament out of all of the tournaments that he's done. Now, he said to Rio in the interview, he said, AFCON is our World Cup. Now, having a mindset like that, putting your country and your people first, is a great mindset to have, and it's something that we can apply to our careers, our businesses, and even ourselves as athletes, if you're an athlete or up-and-coming athlete as well. Now, if we continue on this thread, I think we can all agree that this also applies beyond football, right? So in the interview I did with Veronica, Personal Pain Unleashed Profit and Purpose, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, we saw entrepreneurs turn setbacks into businesses. And this really echoes Gyan's penalty miss playbook. Now, with this episode, this is a really good one. Veronica talks about her story, what her hardships, what she's gone through in her personal life, and how she's used this pain to create such a purposeful business that she's running right now, helping people to unleash their skills and their talents and use that to bring them revenue. Now, when you look at sport, tech, startups, you look at athlete branding agencies, you look at youth academies, Ghana's music and tech creatives needs this kind of discipline too. Now, for those of you who've been listening to the Sound of Accra Podcast, I did a feature on Africa Podcast Day, and I explored that podcasters can monetize their talent. And in this same vein, athletes are able to pre- and post-retirement, just like Asamoah Gyan, and should position themselves to do so. So to any young athletes out there, any young entrepreneurs out there, it's your turn to shine. The likes of Asamoah Gyan, they've been there and they've done that. So I want to hear from you guys. What is the takeaways from this episode? Athletes, be conscious of your weaknesses and build confidence as an athlete. Entrepreneurs, I'll encourage you to master your craft, set wealth boundaries, and recover fast. Ghana's number 13 globally, but number 1 in potential. Let's stand behind that. Asamoah Gyan has showed us the path. Now, let's walk in it. If you guys enjoyed this episode, you might want to check the episode I did with Giuseppe Baidu on how he turns a failed UK startup to becoming one of the top UK food startups that's stocked in the best supermarkets and stores like Google, like Selfridges, and many others in the UK. All right, so if you guys made it to the end, thank you so much. I'm Adrian Daniels, and you've listened to the Sound of Accra Podcast. If any of you have a compelling story that you'd like to share, I would really like to hear it from you. Feel free to drop me an email, adrian@thesoundofaccra.com, or just search for the Sound of Accra Podcast on socials and we can connect over there. Right. Until next time, hope you enjoy this one. Take care. Bless. See ya.